point, but we're going to be starting off with Lucio. Now, that's not as standard here, but comfort picks at this level are going to be very important.
Definitely, and with this being a two-lane map, Lucio providing that extra ability to rotate between those lanes really fast. You can see more ganks going onto the solo lane up there in the top, or just, scoot in and out of those camp points. As it is Battlefield of Eternity, we can see right now some other heroes jumping up into priority. Vala, Lunara, all excellent picks. And it looks like it's going to be Rhaegar Artanis, a very solid start to this draft for Resurgence of the Storm.
Now, Artanis is a solid pick on this map, but usually as a last pick, you're opening yourself up to a little bit of counterplay this early on. But what I was mentioning earlier, this is Division C. Now, it is very high level of play. There's some very strong players here, but more importantly to remember is the fact that this isn't the highest level of play, and when you are at that point, it doesn't matter how meta Zul is. If you're better at Artanis and can play Artanis to a higher level than you can Azul, it's better to pick your comfort pick, and that is what we might be seeing here. And of course, I already mentioned his race is D. Speaking of good race, though, the Greymane, and interestingly, some ranged harassment here.
I really like the Kael Thoth. So far, we have two melee champions on the side of Resurgence of the Storm, and if they're not careful, especially having to group up for Bloodlust or Ancestral, they could be feeling the wrath of the Sun King as he dunks on them with those living bombs. See our next band come out here. All the teams taking their time. It is going to be Muradin. They're really locking those tank slots.
Muradin is an interesting one, though, because Garrosh would be the next highest in priority, I would personally say, especially with a Lucio on your team, that little speed boost. But we could also see maybe Diablo sneak his way in with a Greymane. There's a couple options there. And Nubrak, of course, very good. Arthas as well. With Johanna banned out, Arthas would be the next best against auto-attackers, and right now we have Rhaegar and Artanis. They're looking for peel potential here, and, well, there are very few tanks left that can offer it.
I love Arthas. I hope it's him. I mean, it feels bad to play Arthas right now, but I love him. I think he does such a great job. Raynor going to be taking out another really strong race hero, just trying to capitalize on the fact that the team already has the Greymane. And the Kael Thoth damage is no damage to sneeze at either. Like you said, ranged harass, a fair amount of damage onto the Immortal, and then impeccable wave clear.
Stealing the Anub'arak away with that tank pressure. They continue to pile it on here, removing one of the next best tanks, especially for this burst composition we're seeing from Cosmos. And Tassadar, massive poke damage, great bloodlust potential. Now, here's a theory. Right now, looking at Cosmos, Lucio doesn't synergize with this, but everyone else does. This would be the worst composition for a Stitches. It's not great for the race, but for picking off that Tassadar or that Rhaegar, it could be a play that they have the option for here. If not, Garrosh is good. And Mal'Ganis, the safe choice, I think. He's not really he doesn't really excel in this kind of composition, but he is a safe choice. He's going to be effective, and he's going to keep Greymane and Kael Thoth safe.
See, I think that Mal'Ganis is going to do really well. He's one of those higher priority picks, I think, on the same level as Garrosh. In my personal opinion, I think right now he's better than Anub'arak. His trade allows him to go into the back and just kind of 1v9, healing off of the auto attacks. Rounding out for Resurgence of the Storm, it is going to be a Vala.
The race potential, very strong from both these teams. I might lean a little bit closer, a little bit further towards Resurgence of the Storm for their immortal race potential here, as they do have Artanis and Vala, and of course Rhaegar and the Anub'arak Beetles are going to add a little bit more damage. Beetle build on this map, not actually terrible. But we'll have to see here. Of course, Greymane going to be doing a lot of work, and Mal'Ganis Yrel is potentially one of the most annoying front lines you could possibly get. You try to make a play. Oh, you've been knocked back by Yrel. Oh, you've been slowed by Yrel. Oh, you've been stunned by Mal'Ganis, and you're napping. And by this point, the rest of the team is gone.
Yeah, definitely. I really think I have to give it to Cosmos. I think their draft is solid. I like the KT. I like that they have not only race, but they have kill pressure. And I think if they can boop around with that Lucio and use that to their advantage, it's going to be a really nice, strong ganking composition. But we'll have to see. Both teams have the portrait synergy, so we can't go off of that right now. I know you can't see it. Star Raptors for the side of Cosmos. I really like that. I think that's cute.
I like both of them as well, and usually I try really hard to not vote against the team with Yrel or Zul on it, and there is a Yrel on Cosmos. If it weren't for the front line, I think I would prefer Resurgence. And as such, I'm going to try and give it to them anyway. I think that front line, if they can play it well enough, might keep them in this game. But we're going to head into game number 1, ladies and gentlemen. And JC, would you like to introduce the team on the left-hand side?
I would love to. It's going to be Pig Merlin on that Artanis. Fantastic name. C2D2 on that Vala. Wingman is rocking the Tassadar. Kenser is the Rhaegar, and Perseus is going to be your Nubarak.
And on the right-hand side, it is going to be Cosmos with Nier playing on the Urel. And chilling in the bot lane is going to be Ciaris on the Mal'Ganis, E-Day 15. Going to be playing on the Greymane, Silver Jackal on the Kael'thas, and Sodity?
Oddity.
Oddity. Ah, COS Oddity. That makes sense. Going to be running in on that Lucio.
Yeah.
Yeah, indeed.
Our dear friend, he helped save my stream the other day, so we got to see some of the game. So I'm rooting for him. I'm not gonna lie. I
Wait,
hope
Oddity
both
did?
teams. Yeah, that's
Really
Oddthought.
sweet.
I like Oddthought. If you haven't heard an Oddthought stream, he sounds like Bob Ross. It's really pleasant to listen to. So if you ever have some free time, go check Oddthought out.
That sounds very nice indeed. Perseus getting focused down a little bit, taking quite a lot of damage. E-Day doing exactly what he should do, and just pinging the Nubarak with damage. We're seeing an electric charge coming out for Kenster. He's going to be trying to go full single target sustain onto Perseus, who just gets bodied there from the actual output damage. We're seeing, even with that Nerubian armor, he is going to struggle for a while here until we get some kind of burst protection, whether that's his own with one of his other shield talents, or with Rhaegar going for Earth Shield, or maybe Ancestral, which I'd really hate to see him forced into Ancestral. He's gonna struggle against this much pressure.
It's hard to be a big bug boy into Greymane. All of his shield revolves around spell armor. So that Greymane is just going to do a ton of damage to him every time he goes in. You see he's had to use his Burrow Charge now twice to back out. And one of those times, spreading the Living Bomb to his Tassadar. We're going to see the teams fighting over the bottom lane now here. And Ciara is getting a nice sleep onto Rhaegar. The wall comes out. This could go over to Resurgence of the Storm. But Vala is taken incredibly low. Going to be the first blood of the game. Perseus now has to run for their life as they turn their sights on him. And with the main DPS gone, Urel has jumped down from the bottom lane to come help out on this camp. This first camp of the game is going to go over to Cosmos.
That would have been a really easy kill onto Tassadar there if they'd all followed up on the Urel. They do get Rhaegar in the end here, picking up a single kill as opposed to what could have maybe been a double, but that does massively extend their lead, and we are really seeing Perseus getting pressured so hard. The great engage from Ciaris as well, really able to take some solid control. They're looking good right now as level 4s are hit for both teams, but quite a lot earlier for Cosmos. Waiting on some talents here. We do see the standard Netherwind, Mana Addict, lots of standard stuff here. And Tass picking up that Plasma Shield. It's all looking pretty normal. And there's Shed Exoskeleton. This will keep a Nubarak a little safer.
I really like the Carapace build for a Nubarak. I think it does help him to survive, like you were just saying. And the move speed at 7 really does a great job of allowing you to get in and out without having to burn your only engages and disengages. Teams jumping onto those Immortals right away now. Greymane and Kael'thas gonna get a boink, but they're focusing on defending, which I'm really curious to see, seeing as we have a Greymane on the side of Cosmos. Perseus takes a ton of damage. Mal'Ganis goes in, does not connect with those Spell Claws, and Urel is just bullying the 4-man.
They are forced back because Artanis was not with this fight at all, clearing out the Mercenary Camp. This does mean bottom Mercenary Camp is still pushing out for Resurgence at the Storm. Getting some macro pressure here as Nubarak pushes forward, really making the most of that shield. Looking good. They trap Nay a little bit out of position. Here comes Artanis with the swap, and they pick up their first kill of the game, making it a 2-for-1. Anub has taken a lot of damage, but his distraction play has been absolutely fantastic outside the lane. He's massively struggled in the lane. Second, he's out of it though. Vala's got stacks. They pick up a kill. Looking much better. Good job, Perseus.
And now looks like Vala can turn her attention to the Immortal of Cosmos. However, the team is coming back in. They won't have any damage for a couple of seconds. Greymane gets stunned by that Immortal dunk. is going to be teams fighting over. Halftime show has been reached. And now Ciaris is in a little bit of trouble, but not as much trouble as Kale Foss. A nice jump from Urel saves his life.
Urel's able to get to disengage there as we see Pig Berlin being forced to back away. C2D2 though getting some very solid damage out, but Artan is looking for his angle, but they're trying to race this while Urel distracts the rest of the team race. And finally, we see Perseus move forward. He's about to spread the bombs. 2 people though, no, only gets Rhaegar, but Rhaegar forced to back up as well. They are disengaged, they are zoned, and here's the joy of Kael'thas in his composition, just sieging away at this Immortal, and they have no counterplay. Their counterplay right now is to fight, but Perseus is out of mana. They can't really do it, so they're just going to try and race with Valor. They got to bring Artanis to this as well, with their amateur opponents to have any chance of winning the race, while a noob delays. It's actually going to be quite close, because they did get a little bit of a head start there. Perseus may give his life for this, but they do with the Immortal, and that was a very nice play, using the distraction and a very quick call to move in with the entire team for the race.
Really nicely done by Resurgence. Looking at it from the early bit, I did not think that they were going to get it, but some nice zoning by Perseus and team allowed them to pull back. And I see you hovering over that, what is that, Wolf Run?
It's Feral Heart. Wolf Run's a level
Heart.
1. It's the standard classic sustain and also burst sustain if you Feral Lunge someone. It's an unusual talent. Not as unusual as this. Grounded Totem instead of Cleanse coming in here. Now that's super unusual.
We usually like to see the cleanse because look at the CC on the side of Cosmos. We've got the boot from Lucio, nothing on the Greymane, but Gravity Lapse and Urel and Mal'Ganis has 2 CCs.
It's very unusual, but we're seeing that attack speed slow instead. This is really to counteract the Greymane. It doesn't really affect anyone else too much. Kindness Plating finally coming in, and we have Valor basically at full build. Beam Alignment. Very helpful here. More importantly, that attack range of 1. That's a huge deal with this kind of build. And we see some extra little bit of wave clear for the Artanis. With that Solarite Reaper. No extra flips, no crits, no attack damage. It's all about that attack speed, wave clear and AoE damage. Try and add some to these team fights. And of course, Kael'thas going with what appears to have become the meta talent when I wasn't looking, Burnt Flesh.
Yeah, that's pretty solid, especially when you're fighting in these closed off, choked out areas. Right now, we're seeing a base race between the 2 teams, both of them pushing with their camp. It looks like Resurgence has a little bit of an earlier start. Artanis getting slept by the Mal'Ganis. Both forts are going to go down. Solo laners can't do anything but watch, try and get a little bit of damage onto those minions with their ranged abilities. Nice knockback by Urel, protecting this keep wall. I don't think that Cosmos went to chase the keep wall of the upper lane. No, they did not. So, victory for Resurgence right there.
Yep, got a much better trade here. Also, I didn't know that's what happened with Artanis. If you sleep him as he casts his Q just doesn't go off, and instead he does the full movement animation with his hands. But he doesn't actually move, so he's just asleep flailing, and it's hilarious. And it's the first time I've seen that.
I noticed that. I've never seen that either. Nay, in a little bit of trouble, but she is a speedy Urel girl, and is just going to go ahead and jump away. A nice bed of barbs by Anubarak, and Vala is going to go down, however. Got left behind by the team.
Urel with the wraparound. Great stun from Kael'thas to set that up, though. Blind into the bush. It was able to pick up the right angle. But finally, level 10 coming in for Resurgence at the Storm. They were quite a bit behind here in terms of XP. Kenster able to get away with that. And there it is, Bloodlust, Archon. We have the Reign of Vengeance. Cocoon coming in, pretty standard stuff so far. And that's going to be a big deal. That's Suppression Pulse. On the other side, again, pretty standard stuff. Pyroblast really has surged in priority and become the main pick.
I really like the Pyroblast. The Rhaegar has Bloodlust, but he doesn't really have any kind of huge burst to heal a Pyro. So if somebody gets low, then they can go ahead and just consider that hero dead. Vala taking a ton of damage. Mal'Ganis goes in for the sleep, isn't able to hit anybody. A halftime show is reached. The Resurgence Immortal looking a little bit low.
Tas gets absolutely bodied. He's got an Archon, and he will live here. They finally pull the Bloodlust with Greymane in the Cocoon. They're going to try and rush it down. Here comes the sound barrier for the counter as Urel will go down to defender, but Lucy's going to be the first one to get pulled off here. C2D2 able to hold the line for the multi-bound sleep from Ciaris, keeping them in the game right now, but it's still a 1-for-0 in that trade.
Lucio going down in that fight. He will be up in a matter of seconds, but now it is time for Resurgence to make their take their play. try and find this Immortal early on. The team is coming back without their healer. Lucio will be up in 2 seconds. But with their Immortal to defend, Artanis looking so low. Out comes the Force Wall to prevent the team from going back to the safety of their Immortal. However, everybody is just going to go ahead and disengage.
The two-man stun coming out of Anubarak there, saving the day and allowing Artanis to port back to base, grab his health up. They are still here, back in for the moment. Everyone's still alive, as we see Percy is making the most of that shared exoskeleton to back away with that extra move speed. Both teams still in this. XP still in favor of Cosmos, though.
Can I just say, Perseus on this Anubarak has been really insane. Nice Reign of Vengeance by C2D2, hitting 3 people there. But every single one of their Impales has at least hit 1 person, and they've all been incredibly impactful. This is the best Anubarak play we have seen. And as I say that, he goes down, Vala goes down. Mal'Ganis, however, pushed into the Immortal, taking a ton of Tassadar auto attack damage. Yrel in the backline, disallowing the team to escape. Out comes the sound barrier. Mal'Ganis is hit by the stun. Pig Merlin running for his life. Pyroblast is up again. He will fall down, and this should be the second Immortal of the game, going over to Cosmos.
They will pick that up, and there has been something I have absolutely noticed here, and it is on the side of C2D2. He's been doing some fantastic damage output, but he's been too committed to this flank here when Rhaegar has been here. He is separating himself from his support, and he's paying for it because he needs that peeling. He's not near his offlaner, he's not near his support, and as such, Yrel is punishing him for it. Ney playing a fantastic game so far, and is putting the beans and putting the pressure onto C2D2. If C2D2 can stand close to that support, his damage output has been mental so far, and I think he's going to be dominant in this game if he can stay near to the people who will help him.
Yrel is quite punishing, gotta hang out by that Anubarak. Or even, like you said, Artanis. Artanis can swap people off of Vala. We see that they're standing nice and safely in the back. Just gonna go ahead and give over this Immortal, or sorry, Fort to the Immortal. And the team is gonna look to pick off this Artanis, but Pig Merlin is wise to the team. We see the on the way coming out from Cosmos, but a nice disengage from Pig Merlin. He is going to get out nice and safe. They have no idea. They're still looking for him, and he's outie.
They're going to give up, go for the camp. Nicely done here. Also, I know it wasn't intentional, but we went a little bit South Park there, and I love it. It's Pig Merlin. Every time he gets the swap, he took a dig.
Camps being picked up for both teams. Shadow Walk.
Going in for that what used to be the I can't remember, dimensional shift, and instead picking it up at this stage, giving him an escape in this game, and also Earth Living Enchantment, about as close to burst heal as they're going to get in this game. Interesting talent choices by the He's basically picked every talent that very few people ever pick, and it's kind of neat.
He's got a build he's going for, and he's ready to do some damage, or heal, however you want to look at it. Nice escape by Silver Jackal, helping his tank get out of that sticky situation. Camp's pushing up in the top lane for Cosmos. One thing I wanted to point out about Shadow Walk is it is not as strong as the original dimensional shift. It makes you unrevealable. It does not make you invulnerable anymore. So you can't pop that and walk away. You're unrevealable, but you can still take damage. So it's something that Tassadar is going to have to be mindful of. He's not as strong as he used to be.
Gonna clear out this fallen Shaman camp. In the meantime, Kael'thas is defending against the one taken a little bit early, I would say, by Resurgence of the Storm. And so far, this game, I would have to say, has been a little cleaner from Cosmos. But late games, that Bloodlust Archon combo is going to be devastating. They've got to play around it. We have that Urticating Spines right now for Perseus, as they will retreat. Halftime show is grabbed significantly faster for Resurgence because Vala, and they're just able to blast their way through that. Halftime show already acquired, and we immediately see Cosmos moving to the more defensible position. They would rather take a fight here.
Cosmos looking, posturing on Resurgence. They don't want to step up just yet. Resurgence looking to pick the Yrel, but she's got them all planned out. Bloodlust comes out, as does the
Archon keeping it alive. They move forward. Kael'thas pops out the cocoon. Nice use of the bats there to get it out. Out of the defender going to come out. C2D2 is once again being pressured by Yrel, but they hold it this time. And Nubarak not as tanky as some other tanks, is going to be the first to fall. Rhaegar drops as well. And Yrel was finally killed by C2D2. They were able to grab her, but that's a 2-for-1 here. That's a risky rotation. Vala was able to sneak in one more Q and is now in full retreat. They can't afford to get picked off here, but they did survive the fight without losing too much. If Vala can sneak back around to this, you can see only Ciaris is here to try to stop. She's going to get a big chunk of damage off on this. Gonna get stunned. Can she get out from this, though? Force Wall needs to be used. Not the best Force Wall, and C2D2 is getting closed in on here.
His Force Walls have been kind of unfortunate for Wingman, as both him and Vala will go down. We saw it just up in the top lane. Rhaegar got caught by his own Tassidar's Force Wall.
We see the retreat coming out, trying to stay alive. They need someone for this defense. They got a good, solid race here. Finally, he took a turn! Pig Merlin gonna try and defend this, but sleep is too good. And Pig Merlin going to be forced to back up. By the way, we just saw it there. Fury of the Sunwell. No Ignite. They're trying to use it with that Burned Flesh, which I don't believe works. There was a stage back in 2018 where these two talents didn't actually synergize. I don't know if that was ever fixed.
We will have to see as we continue on, as it looks like Cosmos are looking to try and get the push, possibly for the end of the game, down here in the bottom keep before the Immortal even shows up. They've got a catapult with them. Yrel has used the the wings. She's trying to get back onto the back line. She's the only one in there, so fearlessly diving. And now the Immortal is here. The team needs to use the keep to defend themselves, not themselves to defend the keep.
All heroics are available. Keep goes down. Shield of the Immortal about to pop here. Anu went a bit too far forward. Fury of the Sunwell does damage, but is able to tank it with that level 1 shield talent. But that is a full health Immortal. Currently racing it down here. Here comes Pig Merlin and C2D2 trying to hold the line, but we do see the push forward. Multi-4-man blind coming in. There's the Bloodlust. They're going to try and turn it, but the Living Bomb hits multiple members. Boss stun with the Immortal. Does huge damage. C2D2 in full retreat here as the Bats chase it down, as the Immortal still focuses onto the core. They're trying to hide in base to heal up, but in the meantime, the game is ending. Percy is trying to tank sleep to buy them time. Immortal's dropping low, but the core is dropping lower. And that's going to be a game with Cosmos fending them off the Immortal and able to take game number 1.
Cosmos playing an absolutely dominant game in game 1 of our best of 3 series. They knew exactly what they wanted to do, what they had to do, and they just followed their plan to a T. Not really much more to say about that. They had a really strong team, not only in team fight and in race. I think the problem from Resurgence rose a little bit in the fact that they have a very strong race team, and they just took a little too many team fights.
Very much so. The team fight was so good. Kael'thas was pretty on point with those stuns. I think he hit at least 90% of those nether wins, just getting everyone. He was even picking them off without setup. Was very nicely done there, really solid. They were able to take the fights when they wanted to in this case. I'm impressed. That was solid job by Cosmos. And then we see on the side of Resurgence of the Storm, they had a draft that was fantastic at one thing, and that was the race. But the fact is, they, like you said, they were forced into a lot of fights. They took a lot of fights they probably didn't want to. And in this case, Anub'arak and Artanis weren't able to hold the front line long enough for Vala and Tassadar to finish off Yrel, who has Ardent Defender, and Mal'Ganis, who has Bats. Anytime they got someone low, both those abilities were activated, and they were never able to do enough damage to finish the... to finish the job.
Definitely. It just comes to one of those points where you just have to decide, is it really worth it? The team runs at us. Maybe they'll take something. They might take the fort. They might take the camp. But we excel at racing, and we excel at pushing with the race. Instead of taking those team fights, we need to focus on that. Get set up for the race. Maybe you lose somebody here or there, but if you can continue to just focus on your plan, it's a lot easier than trying to conform to what the enemy does.
I've been informed that Fury does work with Burned Flesh, so that was fixed. Can confirm it did not work for at least 2 years at one point. It was not great, or at least a year, sorry. But if that has been fixed, that is good news, and that will capitalize that very well. Thank you, Shad.
Oh, we appreciate it very much. I'm just going to go ahead and take a look at this really quickly because the chat is not showing up on my phone for some reason. Hello, Zool Rules. How are you? We're just waiting to show up to our game number 2 in this best of 3 once again. All right, I am all up to date. So, looks like we are going to be going to Brax's Holdout, another 2-lane map.
Indeed, we are. Brax's Holdout will be the choice, and it was chosen by Cosmos, as you can see here, who I didn't select the winner. That will update in just a second, because we did see first pick was selected by Resurgence of the Storm. As such, Cosmos 1-0 up here. Resurgence of the Storm going to have to try and bring it back on the map choice of Braxis. The second 2-lane map. More team fighting forced out here by Cosmos, knowing what they're good at in this case and trying to capitalize on it.
I'm excited to see what Resurgence can do, and I'm sincerely hoping for a best of 3.
Same.
I love to cast Heroes of the Storm, and so best of 3 or 3 games in a best of 3 is always welcome. The only one that I've had in the past couple of weeks was super borked by a storm we had the other day. So Braxis Holdout, like you said, there is a lot more team fighting on here. Now the team doesn't necessarily have to worry as much about single target damage. What can we expect to see?
It's a good question. We're going to have to see a little bit more wave clear, of course, for this map. Wave clear is a lot more important than the single target damage, because you've got to clear out those Zerg. Even a low percentage Zerg can actually get a lot of work done. And so you have to focus on that very effectively. You've got to get some more point control. Of course, this is a map where we see a lot more Rexar, a lot more Malthael comes in on this map a lot more. So we could see something like that. Maybe Deathwing. He actually gains a lot more priority on this map too. Going to be fun to see. The question is, are we going to see a more commitment to the map play, where it's going to be lane control top lane, and then just a better brawly composition for the bot? Or will we see a lot more rotation-based play, which we've seen quite a few teams run with?
I mean, we'll have to wait and see what these teams have up their sleeve. Personally, I'm a big fan of rotate and kill them, because it's really hard to cap the point if you're dead, in my humble opinion.
Nope, that is 100% correct. You can't. It's always the classic of, do we need any burst healing? And the answer is you don't need to heal against a team that's dead. And that's why in some cases, countering the opponent's team isn't correct. If your draft is so based around just exploding people, it can work well enough, even if you don't counter the enemy team. So we're ready. One of the teams has asked for 1 minute, though, and then we will jump in. Feels good. I do like that the gerbs, the good gerb, or in this case, good butt, thank you, butt spot, has kicked off. I really like that, because the play was very effective. I enjoyed it a lot.
I think that is enough South Park references on my stream for the rest of life.
Fair enough. Your stream, your rules.
Good. Oh my god. I'm going to be thinking about that all night, and it's your fault. It's your fault too, Zool Rules. How dare you?
What about they took our gerbs,
yes,
or the good gerb?
Both. Good butt.
Good butt.
Thank you, butt spot.
Butt spot complimenting the entire chat right now. Just small. Of course, just go face.
Yeah, just kill them. Just kill them, forehead.
Oh my god, that's a good player name. If anyone ever wants to become an esports pro, get the name Forehead. Because then in comms, your team is literally going to be shouting out, "You just kill him, Forehead!" It's perfect.
It's my next Smurf bet.
Yes, that's a good idea. I like it.
No.
Not that we endorse smurfing on Heroes at all. That is against the term and code of use, and we never do that.
Is it really?
It is. So that's against the terms of the code of
what
conduct.
What if you got a gold scrub on your team like me, and you're a master player like everyone else on my team, and they can't play with me because I'm potatoes? We're jumping into the game. We'll talk about this later.
Well, the answer for that, according to Blizzard, is tough. You gotta play separately until they get good. That is the rules.
But I'm potatoes.
Well, Blizzard can't. Well, take it up with Blizzard, as we are heading in, ladies and gentlemen, to the map Resurgence of the Storm. First pick, first ban, as this is the map pick of Cosmos. And it is Braxis Holdout for this Division C West game.
They fired the guy you can take it up with.
They fired everyone.
I know, it feels bad.
I'm actually quite happy, and This is something that I do quite like. I saw that one of my favorite community managers for Heroes, who was part of the many people who went away, he's been hired back for Diablo, and I'm happy for him because I like him and he's lovely.
Greymane banned away by Resurgence of the Storm. They definitely don't want to deal with that again. It was a great play for Cosmos, just jumping in and ruining everyone's day, especially if they want to consider that a new Barak again.
Makes a lot of sense, like you say. But now we saw Cosmos focusing a little more on, I believe they banned out the Johanna, so maybe sticking with that particular line, banning out a couple more of the tank plays. Or the Rhaegar. They also banned out Zeratul, so sticking with that is normal. This might be a target ban. This may just be a preference ban.
This is 100% a target ban. I don't know why I can feel it in my bones that there is just a 500 IQ Zeratul on the side of Resurgence. I will have to do a little bit more looking.
My prediction is Pig Merlin, if I had to guess out of all of them. That or Wingman, actually. That could be... I think he might be good at it. Or C2D2. The way he played, he did play quite isolated, so yeah, maybe there's a player.
Maybe I will have to look. That's one thing I really wish that I did, was I knew a little bit more about the players and like had an opportunity to watch more of the games and see what they played.
Yeah, if only we were paid to do this. That would be nice. Speaking of which, ladies and gentlemen, you can drop donations and bits for JinxieCat, and subscriptions feels good, so maybe support your local casters by dropping subs and donations and bits to them so that they can afford to eat food and cast games and afford fancy equipment that we need to bring you the games at the best quality. Johanna banned out, very familiar bans on the side of Cosmos, completely different on the side of Resurgence other than the Li Ming.
Li Ming, I'm curious. I understand it's probably a target ban, and of course a good Li Ming is something you never want to deal with, but I feel like her priority falls a little bit on Braxis, just with all the Zerg in the way. If you'd like to fight with or against a wave, they do get in the way. And it is going to be an ETC picked up for Perseus. They got the first pick this time. And with banning the Johanna and the Zeratul, that leaves King Cow himself to go ahead and just dominate the 4-man.
I'm much happier about this already. The Anubarak was a little bit of a squishy boy. And without the second tank, Artana's not really with as much CC. They're going to be punished. However, it looks like Cosmos, they know what they like, and this still just works on this map. You have Manaless healing for in lane, and Kael'thas massive AoE for wave clear. So overall, pretty solid and fantastic choices here.
If it's not broke, don't fix it.
Hell
it looks
yeah.
like it's coming in from the chat. Zul Rules says, Zera just got a huge buff with the removal of Gift of the Xel'Naga, so you pretty much have to ban him. I realized halfway through that I am being memed. Unlucky.
You'll see the Raider and Anduin. I really, as much as I do like Rhaegar, and honestly, I still think Rhaegar would have been good here. I think they just really struggled with that squishy front line. They're still going to pick up a different support here to try and avoid it. Anduin does have significantly more cleanse potential against a Kael'thas. Although, again, the question is, how will we see that? Because we didn't even see Kenster running with a cleanse in that last game. He instead went for that attack speed slow totem.
Well, if it's built into your kit, you have to pick it. So hopefully we'll see some saves from Kenster this time round. Tassadar banned, respect coming out from the side of Cosmos. And he did a lot of damage. That Archon hurts.
It really does. He was one of the few things keeping his team in that game for a while, doing massive damage output. But eventually he was zoned away too much or pushed in too much. Now, last ban of the game, Resurgence. We have Lucio, we have Kael'thas. I'd say probably a tank ban with ETC on the board. Johanna taken out. No, they're just going to ban out Zul'jin. Zul'jin, Kael'thas, potentially the most BM bot lane push potential combo on this map. So I get it. Very strong, very powerful. It makes enough sense to be viable.
Your fun is wrong, says Resurgence of the Storm. It is. They've also really cut off the range auto attack role for Cosmos. Now that you think about it, one thing we were talking about the other day is how the ranged hyper carry role might even be smaller than the tank pool. You got Zul'jin, Greymane, Vala. Sylvanas kind of fits into that. I think she'll be very strong here with the Zerg wave pushing if the team is able to get it, turning off the towers with the black arrows. is incredibly powerful. And Muradin coming out for Ciaris. That does offer a interrupt for the mosh pit. Gul'dan coming out, I really like that. And they're going to finish out the draft with a Leoric, very strong in that solo lane.
This is a much safer, much more standard draft that we are seeing from Resurgence, although the Gul'dan is a little bit out of the ordinary. But everything here screams, we experimented a bit last game, let's just play what we know works. And this draft works. They have the potential for Light Bomb ETC, a fantastic setup, percentage damage to deal with this Muradin, good heals, good damage output. Overall, this is just an incredibly sensible draft. But here's the counter. Cosmos going to give them a taste of their own medicine.
I like the Artanis with the Rainer coming out. And even Anduin does a really fair amount of auto attack damage. I've learned over the past couple of weeks. It's really like hefty in terms of damage as far as auto attacking supports goes. So I think the Artanis will be good here with that blind.
I dig it. I can definitely see the value behind it. Two very strong teams. You already mentioned the Sylvanas early on. That is an absolutely clutch pickup, especially on this map, and a really good way to try and counteract this ranged assassin choke we have. I'm a little bit concerned about Muradin as a main tank, as I usually am, but it's a Mosh interrupt, and so is Artanis. They have enough of them for me to be less panicky. This is a much better draft from Resurgence, but a significantly more effective quick wave clear and push potential on the side of Cosmos, so I'm going to lean that way this time.
Definitely. See, I feel Resurgence. I like their draft a lot. I think they're going to do really good things with this Gul'dan and the Rainer, so that is going to be my vote. I think this is going to go to Game 3, and Resurgence is going to take this map.
I hope you are right, and I hope I am wrong, as we introduce the team on the left-hand side, Resurgence of the Storm, a talent that very few people miss, and the people who do are weird. Pig Merlin going to be on that Leoric, Kenster on the Anduin Wingman, on Gul'dan, Perseus on ETC, and C2D2 going to be playing the Rainer.
And over on the right-hand side, it's Nay on that Artanis, Silver Jackal on that Kale Foss, Oddity once again is your Lucio, EDA 15 on that Sylve, and Ciaris rounding it out on the Muradin.
Starting off with a little brawl immediately into the bush. Good damage onto ETC, and that's the joy of Kalefass at level 1. We're seeing pursued by Greg's auto-attack Anduin coming in, and the newly nerfed Exterminator. But the fact is, it's still good, so not a big deal here. Ciaris not landing stacks. Artanis, by the way, Protector of Iron. Newly changed as well about 3 patches ago. Excited to see if he gets value.
Poor Perseus has just been getting dunked on both these games. He comes in just trying to get some vision for his team and loses half his health. However, we do see Ciaris taking a ton of damage from that Gul'dan, and company's got to back up. However, his trait is just a free heal. We see that bolt to the... or what is the hammer talent?
Stormbolt.
Stormbolt. I wanted to say Bolt to the Storm, but I knew that was a different talent. It comes out, it misses. That's all you need to know. We're sitting at...
Jackal! He lived. Sorry, continue.
I realized it doesn't have... Okay, two stacks on that Stormbolt.
Yeah,
everybody on Cosmos having to back out. They are super low.
He has been dodged quite a bit. We're seeing some very good micro from Resurgence of the Storm to play around that, so we'll keep an eye on that. Speaking of playing around it, only 2 stacks Protector of Ire. Pig Merlin really playing very far back. He has no reason to duel Artanis at this stage of the game, so he's just preventing him from getting some stacks here. So we see a Mercenary Camp picked up by Resurgence of the Storm.
Auto attack talents always make me very nervous when the teams go in, because everybody sees it if you're not hitting those autos. Teams are going to go ahead and fight over this top point. The early one is going to go over to Cosmos, so they will get that early percentage on the Zerg wave. Perseus trying to come up and step in. However, he is surrounded in. Nice power slide out. Team unable to follow up on it. However, Ciaris, very, very low, has to step back.
Ciaris is being drained, but he will survive this time. Lucio slowly giving him the 2s, trying to keep him in this game as we see a very aggressive push, using that camp to blast away at these towers, dropping one of them quite low here. But Perseus also dropped low. He will tank it, though, stun onto Wingman. EDA not able to finish the job yet, though, and they will hold for the moment, but they are very low, and a lot of the fountains were already used here.
Both teams just trying to posture up now. We see the power of Ciaris's trait, that second win, healing him right back up to full. Mana is a little bit low, and we're seeing the teams go in again. Percy is very low, gets hit by the gravity lapse. He is going to be the first to fall. Survived for a very long time this time. However, the CC from Cosmos is just a little too much.
Very nicely done. Really able to get some good value there with those stuns. We have that Mercenary Queen, which is going to help so much later on, and we are seeing the value of Might of the Banshee Queen. Kael'thas up to 5 stacks, and Matter Addict already. Sylv making the most of that Mercenary Queen, already starting on this camp. Now Tanis has forced Leoric back into the other lane. Immediate rotation for Resurgence of the Storm to meet the Zerg waves. They can clear it faster. While we weren't looking, Tanis got 30 stacks, a Protector of Ire. Not bad, buddy.
What happened?
Well, we had the talents closed. He got 30 autos on the dude. Nicely done. Nice Netherwind. Nice focus. Stun. Damage. Dead.
Oh, very
Alive.
nice leap of faith by Kenser. And Gul'dan putting out a ton of damage onto the Zerg wave. Over 50% of it already cleared. The Zerg wave from Resurgence has been cleared. Percy has come up to do a little bit of damage. Wingman trying to heal up so we can get those mana taps back and can go ahead and just clear this out fairly quickly, as you can see right now.
Merqueen was doing some extra damage there, really focusing it down. The Guardian's still alive, though, and as such, this push will continue as long as they are up. They even drop the focus onto Perseus here, and he gets pinged away and focused down. Guardians continue to reign in the pain right now, doing a good job. Finally going to start to get picked off as we see Burn Flesh coming in one more time. I don't even blame him at this point, because Silver Jackal's hitting multiple people every time, picking up another kill. C2D2 going to be pinged off as well. Fantastic job there. They grab another kill, and Black Arrows finally back off cooldown after the camp. They're just going to get this fort. No hesitation.
Kenser just going to go ahead and back away. And I would say it's almost BM at this point that Silver Jackal's Kael'thas wasn't banned away. Like you said, fort goes down super quickly. Guardian should be pressed low and eventually deleted by Resurgence of the Storm. And fighting into that Zerg wave is no joke. They do percentage damage, so the more that Perseus steps up, the more he is going to lose. See him taking a ton from this Guardian right now, trying to focus onto that Hydra.
You need to hit the Guardians. I might be incorrect here, but the Guardian clear up is a little bit quicker here and will prevent those Hydras from spawning. So we do see mercenary camps being taken on the other side. And there is Barbed Shot coming in for Sylvanas. A little bit more unusual here. We'll see if that gets the solid value. And Bound by Shadow. They want that corruption spam out as much as possible to try and get some counter damage.
Is that the slow on the Q?
It is not. It is the cooldown reduction on the corruption.
Definitely. Okay. Well, they got a new talent. I'm curious to see it because it works really well in Brawl, so that means it works in a real game, right?
It used to be meta, and then wasn't for a really long time. So it's nice to see it back here. Supersonic, by the way. Cool to see. Power Slide comes out. Muradin getting drained here, but Dwarf Toss, so it doesn't matter.
Has to back up. Leoric takes a little bit of damage, has to Wraith walk away, does not spread that bomb to the members of his team, and now they're just looking to try and step up and clear. ETC with the face melt, disrupting some of his friend's abilities. What are you doing, Fran?
They focus down. There's the root onto Ciaris, and one more Flame Strike to do damage to Kenster here, but he will survive as level 10 creeps its way in for Cosmos, keeping them ahead by over a full level here. In the meantime, Artanis this time did struggle against Pick Merlin here. You can see he's up to 68 stacks. A Protector of Ire, though. He's doing fantastic here. See Yazil, finally they get the good Power Slide.
Nicely done. Sylvanas goes down, and I just like to point out that Artanis can get one more stack, and that's it. And then he's completed this quest. He's done. Come
Almost.
on. I don't want to miss it.
He's not here. He's not hitting him yet. No one die down here, please. We're watching top lane.
Hit him, you coward!
Nah, he says.
Oh.
No fighting. We're watching this.
Auto him!
Drain. Run out of the drain. 10 seconds. He coming. 1,
Nice.
2,
Oh,
3. He's
it
up
was
to
nice
70.
for a second.
He got the user-defined victory condition for just a second, but we got it on camera. It did happen. It was real.
All right, now back in the bottom where the regular important stuff is happening. Perseus stepping up onto that shrine, trying to make sure that nobody from Cosmos can step up. And Tiaras takes a little bit of poke damage, not too much. Straight should heal up.
This is what we see from Resurgence, though. They have easily the much better power spike at level 10 here. Arc Avatar, pretty decent. Wailing Arrow and Sound Barrier, pretty decent. Leoric dying, pretty decent. But Horrify, Light Bomb, Entomb, Mosh Pit, that's amazing. And they've just got to find the right time, the right angle. Stormbolt doesn't land. Good sidestep. Perseus, Power Slide. Good Flame Strike. They're going to try and drop the Horrify. Pyroblast going to come out for Perseus, and that's just going to force the disengage.
You can see Perseus was looking for the Mosh there, but decided against it. Had to back up. The Pyroblast, though, already healed up. Not a whole lot of value out of that ultimate, unfortunately. We're going to see the Stormbolt swing and a miss, and this is still a nice little control for the members of Resurgence of the Storm.
They're about to be outnumbered, though. We just saw Artanis is making his way in. Power Slide not landing. Percy is going to be focused down. We're going to be forced to back away here. Flip, just short.
And C2D2 in a little bit of trouble, has to back up, takes a ton of damage from that Banshee's Curse and that Lost Soul.
Now this is interesting.
Shadow Dagger, Lost Soul is the
heroics. That's 3 heroics burned there so far in exchange for Horrify and Hyperion, Mosh Pit and Light Bomb. The big engage heroics still available here. This is still a better fight for Resurgence due to the talent advantage here. If they're able to take control here, finally the top lane is going to be top lane again. And so far, just due to these heroics being up, this is a much better situation for Resurgence. They're going to be able to hold this for a while. Problem is, Leoric versus Nay. He got to land those Drain Hopes or he's going to struggle.
Hard thing about Leoric into Artanis is the dash is longer than the Drain Hope, so even if you connect, he can just kind of dash out of them. Perseus down here avoids the Gravity Lapse, being so patient with that Mosh. You can see he's looking for it, and the team is terrified of being engaged on.
Huh?
I mean, yeah.
Oh, there's the Mosh. Boom was not in range, but they do land the Stormbolt, Bodyman, Light Bomb, and they're gonna get... No! Sylvanas living for the moment, but the Horrify prevents her getting out of the way with the Haunting Wave. ETC finally killed off, though. Kael'thas trying to land against the good Flame Strike, and C2D2 is too far forward. He's gonna get focused down, but Ciaris is too low to continue the fight. Good heal with the armor, and it's a very even fight. It got being a 1-for-1 trade there.
Biggest thing I think that happened right there is Pyroblast did come off of cooldown support. ETC didn't have a leg to stand on as he was stunned out of his ultimate. Peg Merlin with 80 health walking out of a fight with Artanis.
They hold. They hold for the moment. C2D2 clearing the lanes. They need to keep damaging Ciaris, or he will keep healing up, and this will be a disadvantageous next fight for them. Lucio continues to do some healing as well. They get the corruption, preventing the healing output from coming in. C2D2 booped in. Can Ciaris have the Stormbolt? Yes, he can, but ETC for the rescue. Stormbolt comes out, as does Flame Strike, but C2D2 tags through it with his own armor one more time. He holds it, but the percentage is going up. They have to contest this, but they can't. Health is too low. This will be second Zerg wave going over to Cosmos.
Team is just going to go ahead and back up, realizing that they aren't able to get that Zerg wave. Our Rainer goes down, which might be a little bit of a problem as the team is unable to get that Exterminator value. However, they still do have Gul'dan. Black Arrows was used incredibly early, so aren't going to have the Black Arrows with the Zerg lane. A little bit of respite for Resurgence of the Storm. They're just going to go ahead and back up, do their best to clear. Perseus taking more of that Ultralisk percentage damage. Buddy, back up!
Oh, big damage from that Flame Strike onto Kenster as well. We have that Pyromaniac now available as well. They have to play safe, have to be careful. Seeing Face Smelt coming in for ETC here, the slow. Nice to see here. But this is looking a little rough.
Very far forward. He gets hit by the Pyroblast. However, the Adrenaline Rush is going to keep him nice and healthy. Peg Merlin in the back, trying to get away. Does get Gravity Lapse to death, and Rainer is soon to follow.
Horrify comes out, does not land on the target. They're going to try and finish off Sylvanas, but they cannot do it. The Entomb came out, but no one was in position to follow up on it. Mosh Pit was available, sorry, but he was too far out, and as such, they get punished. Unable to finish the kill there. And this is looking fantastic for Cosmos, who are going to push in with these Guardians, which again will continue to spawn some nice little Zerglings and Hydralisks. Not the best position for them, those will just die.
Wingman was able to survive, which is fortunate for Resurgence of the Storm, as they are able to just try and clear these Guardians out as best they can. The whole team is back. They are healthy, and Light Bomb and Mosh Pit are available. The team is down level 13 to 16, but they got to make something happen soon. Otherwise, this becomes a case of how do you want to lose?
Seeing Fury to Sunwell once again. Flip does not land. Ciara's going to be focused down, but they don't actually have the damage output to deal with him yet. No percentage damage. And Muradin tanking through beautifully here. He's got Stone Form, Healing Static. He's just as tanky as he can get, really.
Teams are just going to continue to grab these camps, and Perseus getting swapped over the crater has to power slide out. Curious to see what the teams are going to do now. We see they finally go back into lane. If you're not able to pick the fight, then they're just going to go ahead and try and soak up to 16 and maybe look to contest after that.
We see no level 16 talent left yet for Lucio. Boss being taken. Now ETC could try and get this, but Ciaris is in position. He's got a power slide. Got to go now. No, they just let it go, but now they have to retreat. Power slide comes out. Facebook going to have to be used. They hold Flip onto Kenster. He's got no way to get out. He will perish here. And there was too much indecision in that. Way too much indecision.
He waited just a little bit too long, and unfortunately the team paid the price. Now they've got to look to do something without 16 and without the boss. Nice Wraithwalk prevents Leoric from taking too much damage. Good Entomb protecting C2D2, who did get swapped there.
Was so close to landing on Ney as well, though. He was so unlucky here. He's just flipped through the wall and wasn't trapped into tower range. Boss pushes forward. Perseus really trying to clear this out by time with that Echo Pedal. Spreads the bomb to Wingman, who's dropped a little low, but able to retreat.
The team right now has to try and defend this keep. Swap is a big miss for Ney. They are most likely going to lose this keep, pushing with the boss and another minion wave to boot. This is going to be the first keep of the game going over to Cosmos.
Black Arrow also doing a fantastic job. They're clearing this up and they're still going. Boss at half health. They are moving forward. They have a talent advantage. 16 is not yet available. They're going to try and make something out of this. Ciaris is trying to wait for a straight to heal up. No flip landed. Pig Merlin going to march his way in here. He has Entomb. Tries to drain. He's trying to buy time for his team to clear as Percy's dropped very low. Boss taken out, though. They trade Leoric to keep themselves in the game, but everyone else is pushing up a bit too far here. Perseus will dodge the Stormbolt, though. Flip not landed there, and they stay in it.
Perseus needs to be looking for this mosh, but that's how they get back in the game. They need a couple of really good team fights if they would like to stay. Points are open and available. Leoric will be back fairly quickly. It's in his trade. Exactly that. Come back quick. So they need to look for something right now. 16 to 18. They have the same talent. Now's the time. Artanis is by himself. Go kill him.
They move forward. They're going to recapture bot lane. Artanis going to try and buy some time while his team finishes off that mercenary camp. They're holding for now. We have the Ruinous Affliction. Big damage output. We also see Crushing Hope and Unyielding Despair coming in. Full drain Leoric with that hopelessness as well. That's going to be big damage onto that Muradin, onto that Artanis. This might keep them in this fight. 190 stacks of Protector of Aya. Artanis doing a great job.
Bunch of extra bonus damage for him right there. The team is all set up to fight. It's up to Perseus to pull the trigger. Or even Kenster. Put that light bomb on yourself. Walk in. Somebody needs to make a play here. Everybody is being a little bit too passive, and Cosmos is just taking advantage of it. ETC finally slides in. We see it slide and then run away. The indecision is palpable.
He was trying to bait them through the choke point, but it didn't work out. That would have been a good mosh split situation, but they can't because Raider took the big rotation. They're going back to defend their lanes. So they're just going to lose another Zerg wave. Finally, Lyric's going to head up here and try and stop that being taken and neutralize this. Rainer clears bot. Mercenary Camp's just going to be allowed to run into top lane. ETC will be here to take up the catapults. Leoric is just here to buy time at this point while a trap is set up by Ciaris as the camp is stolen.
Team's just trying to find their way back in. A nice Wraithwalk prevents the gank onto Pig Merlin. However, he is not mounted. Ciara's running at him. That Wraithwalk is on cooldown. The Stormbolt does miss, however. Nice drain Hope.
He's done.
Should be Pig Merlin dying. Ooh, Wraithwalk. It's good. But not as good as that Flame Strike.
No sidestep here. Not able to get out of range here. He's picked off. Flip just out of range. These phase prisms have been so close, dude.
Nay, just a pixel off. Looks like Cosmos are just going to go ahead and take this camp nice and easy. Other camp they grab bottom is going to go ahead and push onto that bottom keep. And C2D2 is looking for it. He wants the blood.
Trying to do some damage. Perseus is back. Pig Merlin just about to respawn. might be able to take it. Double stun with Bird Flesh. Good damage, though. Ciaris getting drained, but Pick Merlin runs the opposite direction. They want Kael'thas, and they, more importantly, want to neutralize the objective, and they've all succeeded doing so. But Ciaris, his avatar's about to expire. Isn't there really one chance to take a decent fight? Sylve isn't here. This could be their opportunity. Sylve's about to arrive, pick up the Hyperion with the multi-band silence. Good Entomb separates the team into two here. C2D2 being focused. Great Horrify holding it together. Pyro onto C2D2 as here it comes. Mosh Pit finally, but no one's in the right spot. EJ, sorry, takes out E2D2, and they got a great mosh, but no one was in range. Raiders zoned away. EJ with the perfect positioning, and that's gonna be a full team wipe. Nothing traded, even with a 4-man mosh pit. And Cosmos take a dominant fight. The shield's down on the core, and this is gonna be it.
Team is headed to the death march. You can see the GGs are already being called. Zerg Wave does spawn, but it doesn't matter. That's over. GG. Well done, Cosmos. Great job.
They take that very nicely there, and that was so much down to E-Day zoning out E2D2. If that had been any other situation, that Reyna might have been able to do enough damage to keep them in that game and clear people out with that mosh pit. As such, only cooldown was available. He dropped people low, but they didn't have the finish. E-Day, absolutely beautiful positioning in the end. We saw the amazing mosh pit from Perseus. I cannot shout that out enough. He waited for the time to pull the trigger in that fight. They just didn't have the damage output to finish the job there. But as such, Cosmos able to take the 2-0.
Kenster also with a really nice light bomb to follow up, trying to give the team